Sup shitters, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to SP Reviews, where today I'm going to be reviewing the debut album from an artist named Jay Chou, titled Jay. A few things before I begin this huge journey through his record. One, hopefully you'll be seeing some subtitles in Chinese for this video. This is primarily because I know the majority of Jay's artists will most likely be Chinese. So hopefully this will allow the people watching this to sort of understand more clearly what I'm saying. So hopefully that works. I've been setting it up all day. Basically, before we get into this video, I want to sort of go through a few things that I've learned about this record. Apparently, this album won Album of the Year in the 2001 Golden Melody Awards. And also, all the songs on this album were initially apparently rejected by the label that Jay was associated with when he was doing songwriting for them. And for Jay, when he was getting started, his boss apparently said that if you could do 50 demos in the space of a week, you'll get signed. Which sounds completely ridiculous, but apparently that was just the record industry at that point. 2000 was a crazy time. Anyways, without further ado, if we switch over to here, we've got a total of 10 tracks. So this is why this video is quite long. Hopefully that isn't a problem for people. I've got the lyrics for all 10 of these tracks here, so we'll be able to talk about them. If you like this video, feel free to go check out the links I have in the description of this video if you want to support the Patreon or the Ko-fi. But without further ado, let's listen to this album from start to finish and hear what we think. Starting with Adorable Lady, featuring artist Vivian Su. Interesting, and immediately it's fascinating because you got a whoo at the start, and then you got the drums come in with the piano line. You got this kind of fluttering, kind of a little additional bit of interest going on there. Nice little triplet runs on the snares. I'm wondering how the drums were recorded. I assume they might be like a sampler or something like that, which is fine. Nice extended harmony there. Nice extended harmony there. I'm really digging the way the chords progress, the coloration of them. I think there's some seventh chords in there. There's a little bit of dissonance to some of those chromatics and a little sort of an unexpected turn there. But when you're talking about, I want to fly to the universe with you, I want to melt together with you, melt into the Milky Way, it kind of sounds like he's imagining both of the people involved kind of floating in that direction. I keep forgetting that you have to click on Spotify. Ah, I see. Okay, and we're double taking the chorus. All right, so we've got I am every day thinking of you. This kind of sweetness makes me start to believe in fate. I'm grateful to gravity for letting me meet you. That's a beautiful sentiment. This guy's got a real way with words. I like that. Beautiful sort of vulnerability to his voice. Precise vocal technique. I can't really fault this. This is very true to sort of R&B and pop music from that point in time. It's very, very authentic, and I really dig it. Yeah. Shout out to Oakley 007 for giving me the lyrics and stuff for all these tracks as well, because otherwise this might have been quite a long review for the people watching this. We got this 4-chord progression. Bum, 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 bum. So it's a 1-6-4-4-5 progression there. Fairly common in music of this genre. I mean, like, this is fairly safe composition, but I think it's allowing Jay to express himself as a vocalist and show a few of his chops. There's some nice vibratos in here, some nice legato work. I'm liking the reinforcement of the double take of the vocals and the start of the chorus. I'm liking how we're starting with the lovable woman whose beauty makes me blush, the lovable woman whose tenderness makes my heart ache. You've got this like A B A C A D thing going on with these different tails. The lovable woman part gets stuck in your head, or adorable lady part gets stuck in your head. And then you've got all these different qualities here, and it's repeated twice for measure so that you don't forget it. It's the epitome of a really successfully crafted chorus. Oh, nice addition of those guitars in there. Again, it's good to have like a change of pace like this to really shake things up and make it nice and fresh. Nice additional sort of texture there. Back to the verse. Very smooth transition, you know, like he's making the most of the real estate that is involved in like a 4-minute song. I loved that second take where we went really high to the top of his range, because it's a repeat of the first verse here. Like he's keeping us a really simple introduction to his debut album, but I think that's important. You don't want to sort of overindulge in the story and make it too complicated. The message is fairly simple, but he's also singing and telling the story in a way that is very sort of mature and interesting. And back to the lovable woman whose beauty makes me blush. You know, the lovable woman whose beauty makes me blush, tenderness makes my heart ache, transparency, I'm assuming that means honesty, makes me feel moved, whose naughtiness makes me go crazy. So that's fun stuff. There is fun stuff for the sort of the pure of heart, and there's a bit of fun stuff as well for the people who want a bit more sort of raunchiness to their music. I dig that. Again, there's not a huge amount of change in this chorus as opposed to the first one, but there doesn't need to be. The world is so big. Interlude section. And you've got these pad-like vocals as a backing that sound really smooth. There's a nice texture to them. Oh! Nice sort of chromaticism in there. I wasn't expecting that note there. I think like it went to a major when we were expecting a minor or vice versa. You know, those kind of parallel majors or parallel minors are being shown here, and this is very clever production. Oh. Going that step up. Nice key change there. I'm enjoying this. It's a helicopter. You've got to be really careful for those louder expressions, even though they're at the tail end of like a second chorus, because you don't want to do that one take where it makes the other part sound small. It goes to show the skill involved in the audio engineering and studio production with this track. I'm assuming there's a fairly heavy compressor involved with that, with the vocals, like a 4-to-1 or a 6-to-1 or something like that. Kind of a cappella. What a stunning way to finish that song, just whose transparency makes me feel moved. And they didn't include the naughtiness made me go crazy part, because I wanted to focus on the fact that you know, that purity is what really attracts him. When you go back to the interlude, you say the world is so big and I am only a small ant, but I have to use all my strength to protect you. It speaks that Jay views this person as someone he adores with all his heart. And even though he knows that he's not someone incredibly special or anything like that, not the most important thing in their life, that object of his affections, that person, he wants to do whatever they can for her. And there's a beautiful sentiment in that. It was a really smart move to not include that last line of the chorus in that fourth take of it. And it was interesting as well because listening to that chorus, oh, right, we had the lovable woman whose naughtiness makes me go crazy, and then that was the way we finished it. Because the naughtiness, the physical attraction or whatever else is going on is secondary to the fact that he needs to make her feel loved. I think that's incredible. It's really classy. What an intro track. I'm really moved so far. That was Adorable Lady. We have Perfectionism next, I think. Yeah, Perfectionism. Let's go. I mean, I think just before I continue with Adorable Lady, there was nothing wrong with the instrumental performances. The piano was like nicely carried. It like there was a 1 and 2 and 3 and 3 and there was a 16th note groove and rhythm with the piano in terms of its melody and arpeggios, and the drums carried the groove well. The bass was sitting there, but the focal point of a lot of these pop songs is the vocals, and Jay introduced himself really well to people who hadn't heard him before because, of course, this is his debut album. I can understand why he won awards for it. Perfectionism. Oh, really twisted. Oh? Okay. What is this? This is completely different to Adorable Lady. Taking her time building up the anticipation. The drum with his musical theme and the strings. And these vocal stumps. Oh, that was hectic. So, like, for Jay to have written all these songs, this shows a wide variety of sort of exposure to different genres. I can only assume Jay Chou had a really textured, vibrant musical background even before he released this album. I can understand why he's so huge. Because if you isolate the kind of sound separately, they don't sound like they go together if you play them separately, but in this mix with the drums and how everything else has been captured and the sort of the emotional vibe I'm getting from this track, everything seems to make sense. Again, with double takes in the chorus. And if we go through the lyrics, if you said you were suspicious, you can make a sentence. If saying separation can be related, if all this really can, I think I was to see my loneliness. Then hear from a limited date, then take the past and slowly brush up on it. Let me fall in love with you. That scene of a tragedy is one of your performances. Yeah, this is a little bit more tricky for me to sort of get the hang of here. This is a little bit more cryptic than the previous one. I have to... Again, getting a real kind of mid-90s, late 90s kind of pop, kind of R&B, vibe from this track specifically. A lot of these kind of strings and drum machines, ones I'm familiar with when I was growing up, at least with like a lot of the Western music that I listened to. Nice layering of the piano on this part. Okay, and going back to the verse, I've kind of lost track of where we are in regards to the vocals, but I'm enjoying the music. We've got like, rather be heartbroken and weeping than cruelly forget the evidence that you once loved me, that the sparkling teardrops sparkle becoming memories, the beauty of hurting people. Oh, so was the person that he loved a sadist or something like that? And did she enjoy making him miserable, or were the memories making him miserable? Your perfectionism makes me hard to even start writing down my hate for you, take sincerity. Oh, I get it. So was Jay not good enough for this person no matter what they did? Is that the kind of vibe I'm getting from this? Yeah, that's frustrating, eh? I can relate to that. Nice, poignant, sort of round bass instead. Okay, again, like we're slowly layering elements on top of it. There's distinct different sections to this song which I'm really enjoying. It's just that the problem for me is that in this lyric sheet, and this is no one's fault really, it's just me being unable to count paragraphs. I'm assuming. No, I don't want to assume. We'll continue listening. Because like what's so incredible about this is that it sounds like there's a lot going on, but in reality, most of the different inputs are staying the same. The chord progression repeats itself. You've just got like these kind of the inputs like a da 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 on the piano, or you've got the vocals coming in at different parts to sort of back it up and have double takes and then single tapes and stuff like that. And there's been different panning stuff going on with the different instruments. And that him going to his head voice like that is stunning. Like that's not an easy thing to do, to just go up like that. It's a very flawless rise on behalf of Jay as a vocalist. Oh, this break though. It sounds like Jay's having an incredibly awful time with this sort of need to be perfect. And it's a shame because often when you make mistakes, you can become a better person. If you're scared of making mistakes, you often never grow. You just become worse and worse. Okay. This is like the initial theme, isn't it, right? With the piano? It's wild how well this is looping back into each other. Alright, and I should probably mention as well, I should also mention for transparency that the lyrics for this song were done by Vincent Fang, and when I mentioned before that featuring artist was Vivian Su, Vivian was the person who wrote, as I understand it, and I could be wrong, wrote the lyrics for Adorable Lady. I just wanted to clear that up. It's nice to have Jay being comfortable with his sort of singing enough to simply have himself as an instrument among the piano and the bass and all these other elements. There is a confidence with that. Okay, I get where we are now. We're at the end. We're repeating these a few times, yeah? Because basically, power up to here is we've gone past your perfectionism is through the words of separation. Yeah, no, it's horrendous for this person, for Jay. Like a scene from a pantomime. He can't write it down. It seems like a theatrical play. Your perfectionism too, the words of separation are like violent language. I already cannot do anything to help mention it again. I decided to break off for familiarity. So he's so destroyed by this situation that he completely wants to forget about it and never go back to that. Then here for an unlimited day, then take the past and slowly brush up on it. Let me fall in love with you. That scene of a tragedy is one of your perfect performances in a play. Oh, so basically the love that they shared, her, their sort of role in that was a scene of a tragedy, and it's perfect and how terrible it was. And then I'd rather be heartbroken weeping than cruelly forget the evidence that you once loved me. Yep, your perfectionism. Yep, I get it. It was a horrendous breakup, and is incredibly struggling to deal with it. And like I will comment on the fact that this here is showcasing just how incredible Jay is. It's wild just how well he's layering himself over everything else. And just when you've got these various vocal parts, especially when they come sort of close more into the center of the stereo field, it can be incredibly difficult to to like layer them all in a mix without them overwhelming each other. So you kind of have to decide what is your main vocal part versus what are the ones beside it. And this has been done by Jay. Jay Chou is an incredible musician. Stunning. I am blown away by this. This is a debut album. This is ridiculous. It's wild. I'm so proud of Jay for what he's managed to accomplish here. No wonder he won that award. He deserved it. And now I've got a Starry Mood. I'm just gonna confirm. Oh, so apparently Jay wrote these lyrics, which was cool. Oh, this is a special rhyming translation, so the translation is not word for word. Oh, okay. Again, this is very, very different to the previous track. I don't necessarily see this as a chronological album. It's not like a story or a progression as you're going through it. It's more like, I think these are just stories from Jay's past that he's sharing, and maybe different people inspire him for different songs. You know, oh, this is where we were at the start. Okay, cool. I really like the fact that this is written in the actual like like this, because I don't know how to read this part, but I can phonetically figure this stuff out. Thank you to Quiet Boy for that. Again, I'm loving the guitar work with the drums. You got those rim shots because the drummer knows that putting big snare hits wouldn't be appropriate here. Fingerstyle guitar. You know, riding the wind along the blue sky, a piece of cloud falls in front of me, forming your shape as I try, the wind following as I can see, eating up worries with a sigh, carrying you as like sunshine. So he's relating this person to the weather. Again, you've got these really lovely chorus-like pad vocals that Jay is harmonizing on in addition. This is something that I'm hearing a lot in Jay's work, and it's really effective. Again, lots of confidence in the vocals, and that confidence is justified. You got some staccato bits going on as well here, which is pretty dope. You know, when you've got like carrying you as like sunshine, no matter where we go, it will always be bright. Butterflies flying so fine, flowers booming like a light. Yeah, I get the impression that this has not got much to do with the previous track, which was, you know, perfectionism. This is about a different person. Or maybe it is, and there's just multiple layers to it. Again, there's these unexpected kind of chord progressions. There's this complexity within the chord arrangement. He's not just rolling with the natural majors and minors within these key signatures. He's adding these interesting parallel major and minors, or like these secondary dominant chords, and it's just really cool. That smooth legato-ish kind of mezzo piano kind of feel to those backing vocals is just gorgeous in this bit. It matches the overall mood of the song. Again, we're picking up the pace of the vocals here. It sounds more like a chorus, though I could be wrong. You know, a sweet fragrance because of you, trying to let the sun stay here to guide around you and me. Meeting the one which is fair to start. So basically, this is just the only thing that matters to them in their life is themselves, and he and this person, and that person is Jay's world. These are all love songs, aren't they? It's gorgeous, man. I'm really glad I listened to this. You know, To start, sharing each day peacefully, hand in hand, step by step, watching the sky, each star forming a line so dear, making a wish, just you and I. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Yep, this is incredibly romantic. There's a lot sort of less of that freneticism that was in the previous track where he was talking about the anxiety he was feeling about that perfectionism. In this one, he's more calm to match the mood that's presented by the lyrics, where they're just walking together and starting each day together and they're happy and bliss together. Oh, that diminished chord there was an interesting. It was either diminished or a flat minus 7 flat 5. Oh, that transition. Oh, we're getting some extended jazz progressions here. I like this. See, this is not your basic pop kind of. This is not your sort of 21st century pop music that we're used to nowadays. We have 4 chords and that's sort of just the triads and all that. The complexity of the harmony is real here, man. Like, it's not like he's going really avant-garde or anything with it, but the instrumentation, the orchestration of this, the composition skills are on point. I'm blown away by how well Jay writes his music. I've lost track of where we are in the lyrics. Oh, it repeats until where? Oh, it starts from here. I get it. Cool. Again, flawless falsetto. It covers himself well, even a bit of vibrato up there. That's great vocal control. Great technique. And back to that hook. Same intensity as the previous one. There's no need to make it more intense. Really clever move. The drums, the bass, the guitarist are pocketing. There's no sort of crazy solos or anything. Because again, you know that Jay is the focal point, center of attention. Oh, now that was interesting. That's the one sort of main drum fill I've noticed throughout this, and it's at the end. Well played, Mr. Drummer. And well done finishing that on A Wish Will Come True. The wish will come true. Watching the faraway stars, if they can hear, the wish will come true. Because he just wants to be together with that person and spend every day with them and have a nice peaceful life with the sun and the clouds and all that kind of stuff and just have a great time. Very different to the previous track. I'm loving the range in this. I'm loving that Jay isn't restricting himself to having to do this in sort of like a chronological order. It's really good. The second one, the fourth track, you've got Wife, which apparently the lyrics were written by Vincent, but the intro rap is done by Jay. So let's get into it. Let's go. Hang on, intro rap? So Jay raps as well? I think I do know this. I think I've listened to Jay before and I think he has rapped. No. Because like kind of his fourth track in an album is where you need to change things up a little bit. So you've got the drums, you've got the bass, and what else have you got? You got some clean sort of steel string guitar there with the rapping. In the first half, wife, wife, hers before each day a branch of willow. Side stream outlet outside the small village waiting for me. However, as before each day being the branch of willow. Okay. Okay, resolving. Okay, now I was expecting a minor 7th chord there, but it went into the major key. Okay, that's fascinating. We got a pot of wine when things got a little bit more delicate with Jay's vocal performance. A pot of good wine and give me a bowl of hot porridge, match it with a few pounds of beef, I say. So this is kind of painting the picture, and this is what I like about Jay. He's great at sort of like describing scenes with his words. It's sort of describing a picture of a person who just wants a nice, humble sort of like life with someone that he loves. You know, describing being in the village and like being taken care of by this person who's very loyal to him and stuff like that, and having that partnership. However, I get the impression that it's not as simple as that. Kind of Jay sounds like he's crying out in this song, and that's what's kind of giving me a really sort of uneasy feeling about this. My interpretation of what we're going to get ourselves into very soon is that something goes horribly wrong. I've lost where we are with the lyrics, I apologize. These kind of falsetto-ish kind of rapping parts are kind of interesting though. Yeah, they're kind of unique. I haven't heard a lot of them. Usually when people rap, they're using their chest voice. But Jay's mixing it up by sticking in their higher register. That's cool, that's kind of unique. Stereo panning that chin chin jo. Instrumental section. Cool, 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 cool. And we're repeating these lines. See, you know, like the pot of gold wanting me a bowl of hot porridge. The northern is full of people, their forage grass, my fall is a little thin. See through affairs of human life and rivers and lakes, tide rise, tide falls, with gratitude and grudge and mistakes many years afterwards. Still lets people feel sad, heart lets out hurt, wife she isn't. Now, tears don't cast off, words are silent. Is it that, like, he's left that person? Are they away because of a reason? Is that person... I don't know how to interpret this one. This one's a bit of an enigma to me. Again, you've just got all this space within this composition. We have it. Let's kind of set in the mood and the atmosphere. It's nice to have the guitarists have a center stage in the middle, especially when you're instantiating them at the start. Oh, guitar solo. Kind of works. And we're stopping with that. I'm wondering if we're starting there. Yeah, I'm really confused. I think we're up to this part now. The end of the sky, face, weather-beaten and lonely all over the in thee who's near rustic timid affection, love sickness then I post red beans. I don't understand the post red beans part. I think there might be a translation thing. Love sickness then I post red beans, cannot do anything to help in leading a wandering life in the sea of people. Heart lets out hurt, wife she isn't young now and waiting for me, tears don't cast off. Yeah, I don't understand the lyrics for this one. This is a bit complicated for me. I'm trying. But the harmony illustrates that there's some complexity to the situation that might be missing. back to this theme. Okay, we're repeating this section, and that's fine. Again, you're varying the melody of the vocals well enough. You know that, it's catchy and it stays stuck in your head, and it kind of justifies the length of it. Again, the clarity in this. I think part of the reason why this song gets away with being 4.5 minutes is just simply because of how pivotal his rapping is. Jay's a pretty phenomenal rapper. Getting all those syllables through clearly is not difficult. I mean, it's not easy, I mean. It's difficult to do that. It's difficult to rap well. Cool, I was wondering what we were going to do differently to get this over the line. You know, like to get it so that, I was wondering what we are going to do differently so that this chorus would remain interesting if you repeated it another time. It's nice to finish on this guitar part. With the fade out as well. We're almost halfway, gentlemen and gentle ladies. Fascinating. I'm really hoping this translation thing works the way I want it to. You know, wife, who is before each day being a branch of willow at the side stream outlet for me. So like, is this more about sort of Jay going somewhere and being out in the world and like coming home to his wife and like the relationship they have and how it's like healthy and loving, and he misses her and there's a bit of heartache and being apart, but he's thankful to go home and sort of like see her every now and then. Is that it? I kind of, again, the lyrics work well with the overall sort of composition where it sounds like it's a very traditional kind of sort of folkish kind of set up to it. It's a nice shift again from the previous tracks. There's range that's continuing to be found in this mix. Now, I've gotten several different like versions of this. It's saying here that this is called bullfight. I've also been told this is basketball match. So I'm gonna go with either of these. I'll put these in there anyways, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. And apparently the lyrics for this one were written by Vincent. So we will listen to this song now, number 5. It sounds like basketball, to be fair. It sounds like basketball. That's a basketball. This is rapping, isn't it? Again, you've got drums, these. Oh, it's like an electric keyboard or something like that. You've got like a bum 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 bum, kind of like again like a minor 7 flat 5 or some chord like that, and there was this instantiating, you know, like sort of intense sort of nature to this, which is very different again to the previous song Wife, and you know, it resolves to the minor 2-1 progression. Oh, there's a nice bass response to that bit particularly. I'm wondering if that's a sub drop. There's ooh kind of happening in this left side, which is interesting, and it happens every once in a while. And sort of Jay continues that main sort of melody and rhythm to his vocal. I'm just trying to figure out what the song's about. What's there that isn't proper? If you've got something to say, just say it. Don't nest in a corner. You know, not straightforward, then you refute. What is this about? Don't leave you have guts 3 against 3 bullfight. Oh, so is this like, hey, don't mess with me. Say stuff to my face if you got a problem with me. 3 against 3. Oh, I get it. So the basketball's like a sort of a metaphor for dealing with stuff equally without talking behind each other's back and sort of dealing with stuff in a mature manner, right? And then we've got 3-pointer, stays for time in the year. The advancing ball sells short, single-handedly, low, beautiful demo. So it's all about sort of like, I assume this is comparing the way he plays basketball, the way he deals with people. You know, take the ball and don't throw it. It's letting you, this kind of teammate blinds me thoroughly. Oh, I get it. So it's definitely talking about basketball, but it's also talking about his relationships with people close to him. You know, and then we've got this kind of bridge section where it's saying, you say, how can the score stop? Has stopped ever since, who knows? Oh, my girlfriend outside the field cheering for me. But you still let me make a fool out of myself. Come on, tell me, how do you grab my ball? Wow, how do you hit my hand? They're playing dirty, aren't they? They don't want Jay to have happiness. That's rough. There's a bit more animosity to this one. And there's like this, like a very sharp accents which show sort of more of an aggression that contrasts well to other tracks within this album.
Check, sweet finesse, nevertheless I'm impressed with the best. Check one.
I'm liking this kind of wow. Now that's actually interesting. A lot of this kind of wow kind of sense were used in like dubstep later on, but this is 2000. This was 10 years before dubstep. If you would stay, go say it to the first aid box. Oh, because you're going to have better luck staying safe over there than with him. Wow, I want to beat you already for a very long time. Don't think about leaving. Oh, wow, this is really... There's actual... Real hatred for this person. Disgust. I'm liking this foley of the basketball game to sort of simulate what the song's about. Much like we had like a helicopter in the first song to simulate going up into the skies. And back to this verse. Oh, okay. Excuse me for a minute. Don't know why my nanolith panel does that occasionally. Just starts to turn off. And again, this is like a repeat of this first verse, and that's okay because you typically do get repeats of these sections to kind of re-familiarize the audience with what the context of the song is about. Back to that bridge. If there had been any sharper with the zoom in the side headphones, it might have seemed like that side was just a little bit too loud in the mix, but they've been covering it well. There's like genuine anger being represented by Jay in this track. Nice, really full, thick, aggressive drum sound as well. And the piano sounds oddly menacing and like very dramatic. Like the way that Jay communicates sort of aggression and frustration is not by using distorted guitars or any of that kind of stuff. It's by like the way he plays his piano and the way that he adds different samples and to sort of cut it up and make it feel sort of really antsy. I'm vibing with it. Again, repeating the chorus, it's cool. Oh, a breakbeat there for a fill. A breakbeat for a fill, I wasn't expecting that. Again, this song is a lot more straightforward to me. You can tell there's been some stuff go down between him and this person he's talking about, who they're meant to be friends and have just been completely screwed Jay over. kind of like a radio playish kind of filtered synth here. Oh, very kind of, it's distorted and kind of modulated and cut up. Wow. That,
Don't know.
you don't know. Oh, nice touch there. You don't know. You don't know what you've done. Nice sampling there, Jay. Black Humor, track number 6, with the lyrics by Jay. Let's get into it. Oh? Black Humor. This is... oh, a 9th chord? Very competent pianist, I must say. It's really solid sort of instrumental performance.
是因为闷了很久，是因为伤了太多，是心里起了作用。你说苦笑常常陪着你，在一起有点勉强，该不该现在说？不想太多，我想一定是我听错、弄错、搞错，拜托，我想是你的。
Just before we go any further, I'll catch up with the lyrics. Like feeling miserable because if I'm depressed for too long, because I've thought too much. Oh, I can relate to this song very well. You say that 4 smiles are always around you, or only reluctantly being together. Should you just leave me right now? Oh no, this is horrendous. This is probably one of the songs I can relate to quite a bit because, you know, when you're depressed and you're in a relationship, often you do feel like the other person would be better off without you, and it's really sinister, you know. I can relate to this. Jay sounds like it's something he's been through. It's a very authentic vocal performance. It's just a shame that Jay went through this in the first place. That's the sad thing about music like this, is it's often very good because it's so true to it's what happened to them. It's authentic because of that.
随便说说，其实我早已经猜透看透，不想多说，只是我怕眼泪。
He sounds like he's crying out. Nice little bass run there. You know, you shouldn't think too much. I think it's definitely me who heard wrong and did it wrong. Please, I think it's a problem with your head. Casually saying I've already guessed it and seen it, but don't want to say more. I'm just scared I can't withhold my tears. I don't understand your black humor. I've thought it through, but you came and puzzled me again. Splitting up. Oh, wow. Okay. This is sounding kind of mucked up, isn't it?
你的黑色幽默，想通却又在考到我，说散你想很久了吧？
Being able to hold that note and then rolling with that vibrato like that is stunning.
我不想拆穿你。
Ooh. Wow, what a transition into that B flat. I'm assuming that F major or B flat major is probably Jay's sort of comfortable vocal range.
想通却又在考到我，说散你想好久了吧？败给你的黑色幽默。
What an incredible falsetto run that was. The range on this guy. Huh? Oh, good. Because I was really concerned that that was just going to be the song. And they was going to do that twice. Because you've got this repeat asterisks here. Oh, that bass is so thick and that guitar is so lovely. Is that a Telecaster? Again, it's a completely different mood now when Jay gets the big band behind him. I think it's important for a song like this to have had the lyrics specifically written by Jay. I don't think it would have been as believable if it didn't come from the bottom of his heart.
才都看都不想多说，怕眼泪藏不住，不懂你的黑色幽默。
I don't understand your black humor. Having that as a start to a big chorus section, it's just like, I don't get it. Why is this happening? Please stop. And it's like, yeah, I vibe with that.
却又在考到我，说
You know, having the line before, I'm just scared I can't withhold my tears, kind of illustrates an image of him struggling to sort of say this to this person that he admires and really feels for. But he's being brave. That's important.
我不想拆穿你，当作
And going, Dumbo. You know, that's a slick transition from where he was at. That's not an easy thing to do.
离开的玩笑。
Using chest voice comfortably right now.
却又在考到我，说散你像个句。
This would have been incredible to see live or incredible to watch him record in the studio. Oh, the fills. I've been defeated by your black humor. So it starts with, I can't understand it, but I've been defeated by it. You've destroyed me.
说散你想很久了吧？我的认真败给黑色幽默。
Oh, that orchestral arrangement there. Those strings. Well, this is probably my favorite. I actually prefer black humor over everything else I've heard today. Like, everything else is a close second, but this one just, I think it's because I can relate to it. I think this is part of why Jay is so huge, is people can really relate to his music, and that's something that's really special and important. You've got, yeah, my seriousness has been defeated by your black humor. Yeah, sometimes, no matter how interested you are with someone, no matter what you do to sort of make it work, you just run out of options and you're just done, right? And our lyrics for this one were done by Vivian Su, which is cool. I actually think it's kind of cool that Jay had several people help out with lyrics. I think that's really cool. I'm sorry, I kind of zoned out. It's the thing with these longer reviews. Sometimes I just enjoy listening to the music. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to the start of this one. I want to really pay attention to it. I was just enjoying it. That ride stuff. Synth lead. Drums. Rim shots again. More of that kind of jazzy acoustic guitar. A lot of this is kind of very kind of 80s, 90s balladish kind of styled production, especially the previous one, Black Humor. Istanbul is fairly similar in that regard. A very ballad feel. It's interesting to have the one and, like that and with the rim shot. I'm not used to that being there. It's unusual to hear that kind of in that placement, but it shakes things up and keeps it interesting. Of course, it's syncing with his vocals, so it adds sort of a syncopation there. Again, I'm very used to Jay's vocals by now. He's well within his range. It's very colorful, very sort of like, there's nice color and texture to his voice as well, which I'm really appreciating. I've been to many places. I come to Istanbul. It's just like a fairy tale. There are castles and forts. Every day I'm busy searching, what is it that I want? I realize I've lost my way no matter how much I search and just can't find anything. So he's kind of treating like Istanbul like a fairy tale, you know? He's relating it to his search, like, why am I even here for? What am I accomplishing with my life? It's perfect, but is that what he wants? Okay, this is definitely the single. This is one of these singles, if not the single for this album. It's catchy as hell, man. I dig it. You know, a sudden rise, surge in inspiration. I rise in the wee hours, no matter what I do, I can't fall asleep. Yesterday night, you came to me in my dreams. Fantastic. So he's illustrating the mood in the scenario. So all I really want is you to have a burger with me. After all is said, my wish is only this small. Every day I pray, you know my heart beats for you. They just want to be together. They just want to have a burger together. They just want to chill. You know, he's going to Istanbul and all these places, but all he wants is to just be with that special someone. And returning to that sort of initial theme by that. Okay, cool. So we're doing sort of a repeat of this. This is fine. It's okay. We can repeat this. It's cool. Okay, so we're going back to the very start of it. Cool. So you got like an A, B, A, B, potentially a B, C section at the end. That where he is with his voice at the moment, if you don't have good vocal technique, if you haven't been training, you're going to really mess up your vocal cords. I can feel there's a lot of this stuff happening with what he's doing, but I think he's just there. He's not pushing it. He's at the top of his range without going... Yeah, so he went flawlessly into falsetto there. But it's a dangerous place to be unless you really know what you're doing. It's kind of beautiful to have the all I really want is you and the da 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 to have a burger with me da 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 da, and then like at the end when he's talking about being together, like as in like the praying the hearts are together, both the backings and the main vocals come together. It's little stuff like that, you know. It's really cool. Repeating that chorus twice. Sick. And we were fading out with it. I mean, like, this was a very effective pop song. Is it my favorite? Like, I mean, it's not the favorite of the album. I don't think it's a bad track by any means, but I like what happened, I guess, with Black Humor there. I liked the duality of it. I even like the basketball song as well, like with how it kind of was aggressive without being sort of cheesy about it. Istanbul is a fairly safe composition. I would say that would have been the single off of the album if it was, you know. It definitely would have been a single off the album. For track number 8, we have Ancient Indian Turtle Dove with lyrics by Vincent Fang or Fang Wenshan, which is cool. Number 8, let's go. Let's go. There's a bit more going on this side. There's a 5-minute track. The Foley work within this track is stunning, dude. Listen to that. We've got mixes of hip hop and cowboy music. Turntablism. Wow.
沙漠之中怎么会有泥鳅？话说完飞过一只海鸥，大峡谷的风呼啸而过。
Wow, there's so much interesting stuff going on. You've got the piano with the turntables, and then the drums and the bass, and the bap, 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 bap. And you got some sort of singing, rapping going on about loaches and seagulls. I'm sorry, did we have some slide guitar lead bits in this? This is an ethereal. This is a very interesting track, isn't it? We're going like boom and then boom, 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 boom. Yeah, so we're going up a step between these A and B sections at these two halves of the verse. How can there be a loach in the desert? Then a seagull flew by. Wind whistled over the Grand Canyon, who said no. There was a rattlesnake with a hot head lying powerless in the driver. Oh, so this is sort of describing nature and the way that things go together. So this is completely different, isn't it? This is very different to the rest of the album. This is all about animals, and I'm assuming there's like a secondary meaning to this, but... It's a very hip and very sort of contemporary take on this tale, man. You know, the grey wolf gnawed at the bones of the deer, the vulture circled instead at the carrion, two hostile bison on the prairie duel in the distance. What? I've completely lost where we are in the lyric sheet, but I'm just enjoying the story of the beyond to my mouth. Old turtle dove, faint with hunger. Old Indian turtle doves have short legs and little hair. You can live without. What is this? What is this? This is a very hip, interesting take on the story about Indian turtle doves. This is a lot less serious than the majority of the material on here. I'm really digging this sort of transition away from the relationship-focused stuff. Got a Hammond organ or some kind of organ on there. Was this a track where Jay was just able to sort of like flex his songwriting chops and just go absolutely buck wild on it? Man, this is awesome. Yeah, I knew it was cowboy music, including those country elements. The brain is a little funny. He's more accepted than anyone when his prey dies. The Indian Turtle Dove Society opened its mouth. Cactus shy game because sideways. What's weird around here, including dogs that look like cats. What is this? I don't know what's happening. I don't get this. Dude, I'm completely, like, this story is phenomenal. This is probably my favorite one. Unless it was a crow that, of course, the turtle dove isn't that talkative unless he's personally affected. And met by the bush, a female turtle dove he loved. The cowboys duel back in town and back in the town. It sounds like Jay's having a fantastic time with this story as well. That's the most important part. He's having a great time being a cowboy and telling the tale. Having no scratches go in time with the hi-hats is pretty sick as well.
谁也难过，脑袋瓜有一点秀逗，脸死了的比谁都难过。你的安排球，我休息下，先让当怕休息，跟着走，这什么奇怪的事都有我包过，天马的狗，你老板就平常话不多，除非是乌鸦抢了他的货，他在灌木中他先狗，一直令他心仪的木板球。
I'm completely lost. I don't know where we are with the lyrics. This is kind of like, is this like a situation Jay's imagined, or is this like, this song is a rare Taiwanese style called acid jazz. At the same time, the song is a mainly R&B new hip-hop coupled with classic baroque string accompaniment band, forming the British... Oh, it's meant to be sort of you're supposed to sort of imagine whatever you want to from this. Oh, it's supposed to be for the listener to chill and have a good time with. This was completely sort of meant to be experimental. Acid jazz. What is this?
小屁呀！你老板就头头脑不多，几点都没有和谁也能活，脑袋瓜，累死了的比谁都难过。你安排就会先人开口，先人让他休息，跟着走。
The ba da 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 bum bum bum. You got this chromatic flat second there, like finishing it on with the keys. So, like, at the end of the turtle dove meet the lover, I assume it did. Wow, I don't even know where to go with this one. This is wild. I'm gonna have to edit this track down, man. I'm gonna edit this review down. It's so long. What a phenomenal album, though. I haven't really got much else to say about it. I literally think this is a song where you have to decide for yourself what you think of it. I haven't really heard any music like this, though. This is part of the reason I'm glad I listened to this album from Jay Chou, because I did not know he made stuff like this. I would never know. If I don't listen to the singles, like stuff like Istanbul, for example, I'd assume it was like that, because how would you expect it to go from Istanbul to this, right? What a phenomenally imaginary, like interesting story that's being told there of all the animals and the sharpshooters and like the wizards and the Indian legend and the curse on the chief and the skull story and all this kind of crazy stuff, man. We got Tornado for the 9th track, man. Hey, a moment. Apparently apparently the lyrics for Tornado were done by Vivian Su. Let's do it. 2 more to go. And again, completely different to the ancient turtle dove. What is this? And we got this very kind of contemporary 4-chord progression. Rolling to 1654 again, I think.
爱像一阵风，吹完它就走，这样的节奏，谁都无可奈何。
How did Jay choose the ancient turtle dove song to be the 8th? And why did he put Tornado afterwards?
你以后，我灵魂失控，黑云在降落，我被它拖着走进。
I will hand it to Jay. Like, there's so many, like, how do you decide to put that sample or that Foley into a song like this? Who thinks of doing that? I can't believe this. I think it seems very sort of experimental to me, a lot of this stuff, a lot of these inputs, but I think this was just the quality of pop production back at that point. Jay is just on another level, and it's a shame that we don't get people taking more risks like this in modern music. I think that that's what you need to make it special, right? You need to add these additional elements and little bits of interest and peaks to keep people invested throughout an album, and Jay Chou does a fantastic job. You've got Love is like a gust of wind, it blows and then goes away. This kind of rhythm will leave anyone helpless. Yep, I completely relate to that. Without you, my soul goes out of control. The black clouds have descended, they pull me away. The clouds have come because there's no gust of wind, you know, to blow you along. My world is already in a violent storm. Things get really dark.
爱情来得太快，就像龙卷风，离不开暴风圈，来不及逃。我不能再想，我不能再想，我不能。爱情走。
And like the subject matter is so much more sort of understandable in this one than it is in like the acid jazz piece we talked about before. It's nice to have this piano part to occasionally harmonize with the vocal melody. Because when Jay's repeating a vocal melody the second time, you can have that additional layer on top and it kind of, again, retains engagement. You know, I don't want to think anymore. Unconsciously, you've already left me. Unconsciously, I've already followed this rhythm. I become aware another autumn has passed. I become aware I should live a good life. That's rough. Time has passed and you're still waiting for that another gust of wind. And that massive orchestral drum there, again, taking that attention. You've repeated that chorus and the bridge, and you've got these sort of various vocal overdubs, but having that transition into this next part is really important. Oh, there's tension. There's tension here. What's going to happen next? We got an interlude. We got a storm brewing, you know, the boom, thunder, right? You know, thunderclouds. Kind of sounds like you're in the middle of a storm, right? Oh, and those strings. Kind of like an Eastern, like, what is that? Like an Arabic kind of feel to those string sections. And resolving into the chorus. And the strings continue. Some nice ride bells. And having this nice outro with just him and the piano is fantastic. Bringing that energy levels down, letting the piano finish it off. Good move. Good move. Good move there, Jay. Oh, I'm totally sold on this guy. Wow, what a performer. Unconsciously, you've already left me. Followed this rhythm after going where... I love a person who can be so honest in their music. You already left me, I've followed this rhythm. After becoming aware, after becoming aware. So I suppose this is talking about how, like, they've just found out about all this stuff. And it's like the wind blew them by, and they're now picking up the pieces. And Jay is left to do this and not having a fantastic time with it. You know, after becoming aware I should live a good life, he's like, right, after all that, the dust has settled, it's now time for me to try and live my own best life. And it's just his turn to move forward. It's phenomenal, you know? We finally have a counterclockwise clock with the lyrics by Vincent. Finally! Finally, the last track. Oh. I'm familiar with this song. I think I've listened to it. Again, piano led. I assume this is one of Jay's main instruments, which is good, because pianos are so incredibly communicative and versatile. Got this kind of hip-hop drums with a bit of scratching in there. Very 2000s, mid-90s, 2000s feel this orchestration. Sort of a pianissimo kind of dynamic sign with the vocals there. Again, this is one of those songs where Jay, I think, is struggling with the situation, sounds incredibly unhappy about it. You give me a dream, it's misty and has a crack, my heart is pained. How to communicate, you are busy, you say, I don't know, useless to say what is different, and a smile. Oh, so there's someone else that has taken the place of Jay in this situation. And bridge. Kind of like a delay on the guitar mixed with the piano parts. Drum beats continuing. Hate, I'm really useless, have frustrated emotions, my heart is still pain, I'm touched by the sorry. Yeah, so he hasn't recovered from the breakup yet. I get what the song's about. That bass drum is really active in that kick, and it's lucky that it's sidechained the way it is. If it was any louder, it might be a bit distracting. Again, like a 3-chord chorus, you've got the bass line and the drums. Jay's repeating those sort of harmonized vocal melodies over this chorus, so that it's catchy and gets stuck in your head. You know, like, time travel to the clock anti-clockwise, it starts to move. I go back to the period I loved you, it stops your unfaithful moment. Oh, so she cheated on him. Yeah. He's just really struggling to cope with that. I'm sorry to hear that Jay went through this. I know how that feels, and it really sucks. Rapping. Nice. Good job for chasing it up here. It's good to have the rapping, especially at the end song, because there has been rapping at some points throughout this album, and to have the song have both clean vocals and rapping as a conclusion is a really smart idea. Oh, double checked rapping. Wow, that sort of synth melody there is the focal point of the theme of the song, and the rapping is non-melodic, so the different elements work very well together. The neon lights in the city shine uneasily, it rends the night sky. My heartbroken moments vary every second. I don't even want to say take good care of yourself, because he's still... No, I wouldn't either. You don't have to say anything until you feel okay. I chase other dreams blindly in crowds. I'm self-indulgent. Hatred is useless. I curse myself, maybe? Yeah, I don't know. Like, this is not me telling Jay how to feel, because this is how Jay felt at the time. That's a really bad spiral, when you start to beat yourself up for feeling things. You know. And back to that bridge. Very characteristic differences between different sections of the song.
梭时间的画面越重，走的方向开始移动，回到当初爱你的。
You get like piano, guitar, bass, drums, and sort of harmonized vocals here. The mix is really full. The studio production is on point, and I'm really glad that Jay went through a studio like this to get it done, because I just don't think this debut album would have hit as hard if it'd gone to like a smaller one. You needed to get this done by a decent studio, and it sounds really good. It's either like a like in thirds or sixths, that vocal harmony there. I think it's a sixth harmony, which kind of adds sort of like a melancholic kind of vibe to the whole thing. And again, that intro theme coming back in. And the fade out. I time travel through the clock anti-clockwise, starts to move, I go back to the period I loved you, it stops at your unfaithful moment. And if the album finishes there. The album finishes there. Honestly, like, my take on this whole entire album, you know, throughout these 10 tracks, is that this is all about Jay coping with a really horrendous breakup. The thoughts he has of like, or like his breakups, like, the hope he has for the future with the people that he loves, but also the dreams he has of one day them being their wife, dealing with sort of the arguments, the loss, and then the complete lack of faith, you know, people being unfaithful and being horrendous to him. And also, you know, just with relationships with people as well, like with that basketball song where he's dealing with people being just terrible to him and not being honest. And he wants to deal with things maturely, and he on a three verse 3, you know, like with the basketball metaphor. And then of course you have the Turtle Dove song, which was about, I'm sure there was metaphors in there, but it's so open to interpretation, right? I like the juxtaposition between the loving moments and the tenderness, as well as the disappointment and disillusionment with relationships and the people around that he's enamored with in general. I think this shows a lot of width in Jay's character as a human being. And when you have an album named Jay, that's what the song needs to be about. You know, you had Turtle Dove, which showcased his incredible songwriting chops. He was allowed to go wild on that. He did some really interesting stuff with that acid jazz. But there was sort of hip-hop, pop, R&B, sort of country elements at times. There were like kind of like sort of more kind of, they were not necessarily rock, there was even like sort of more classical and orchestral elements to it. This is a lovely amalgamation of Jay's various influences throughout his time as a songwriter, as a musician, as a songwriter, as everything to do with who he is as an artist up until that point when he was releasing that album, which I think again was like when he was 20 or 21 or something like that. And it's just so cool to be able to listen to his music. Jay Chou is an incredible musician, and if this is what his very first album was like, I can only imagine where he's gone from there. But this is effectively my review of Jay Chou's it's my review of Jay Chou's debut album titled Jay. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully the subtitles made sense. If they didn't, I'm really sorry. I genuinely tried my best to make them work, okay? You know, this video is probably over an hour, so if you're here at the end, please, if you did enjoy the video, feel free to sort of, you know, subscribe and all that kind of stuff to the channel, and leave a comment if you liked it. If there's other people you want me to check out for these reviews, also feel free to let me know. And if you want to support the channel, there's some links down in the description of this video as well, like Patreon and Ko-fi and stuff. But yeah, I'm really glad I got to listen to this as well. Special shout out to Oakley for this. Yeah, Oakley. I really appreciate that you know, thanks for letting me help me out with finding like translations for the lyrics and stuff. And please do stay cool and stay safe. Remember, support your local musicians and artists at this point in time. As into hell more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. Catch you next review. Spider hands out.